Hello.
All right, I think we're good to go. So, hello guys, everyone who's tuning in. This is one of our first podcasts in the admissions podcast. So, we have with us Anirudh Sharma, CA. Uh, I've known
Hi.
him for a very long time, and basically we're bandmates for the Lost Cassette. Let's do some shameless promotion of Lost Cassette.
True. Need it more now.
Yeah, so just to give a little bit of intro about Anirudh, he's basically pursuing his master's in electrical engineering in University of Pennsylvania, and he completed his BTech in electrical engineering from RV College in Bangalore, and currently he's interning at Tesla.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty amazing resume for someone who's as all-rounded as you are, and you've been pursuing so many things during your BTech and obviously during MTech also. Uh, One main question I wanted to ask you is that, how has your engineering experience been different during your BTech, and how is it different when you're pursuing your masters?
Ah, okay. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for the introduction though. That was a, that was a bit hyped up introduction, but yeah, cool. I can
Yeah,
go
you
ahead with
deserve it.
that.
That's why.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, my BTech engineering was pretty good. I did my BTech in electrical engineering, triple electrical and electronics engineering. It was decent enough. I wouldn't say bad, to be honest. Most of the colleges in Bangalore are doing quite well, as far as I know, or most of the engineering colleges.
Yeah.
Although I did not have much hands-on experience when I did my BTech. So when I actually went to masters, the first 2 months, it was pretty painful to actually understand the hands-on experience and how things actually work. So whatever I studied, I can give you a small example. Whatever I studied in BTech was probably an 86 microcontroller, a microprocessor, sorry. Yeah. But here you are working on things that were actually invented in 2018, 2019, which
Got it.
is so recent.
Yeah.
And you have professors who were nominated for Nobel Prize
Yeah.
teaching you, and that's such an inspiration. So that was a huge difference from BTech to masters.
Right.
That's one good thing that I did, probably taking up courses in University of Pennsylvania. That was, yeah, and you can also end up taking up a lot of courses on entrepreneurship and business and stuff when you come to doing masters, but you cannot do that in your BTech.
Exactly.
BTech is much more concentrated. Yeah.
Yeah. So coming to that, let's talk a little bit about the coursework that you're doing in masters. Give us a little bit of idea about the master's course that you're pursuing and the coursework that you've taken up and the freedom that you have in terms of, not being just one dimensional in that course, having to getting an opportunity to explore so many other things. And as you told, you've also tried your hands on entrepreneurship and you have a product that's in line. So tell us more about that.
Oh yeah. So one thing is, a lot of people who come to do masters, I know I should not be telling this, but a lot of people who come to do masters try to focus on one particular domain, which is the best thing to do if you
Okay.
actually really like that domain. But
Mhm.
I was pretty confused. I
Okay.
still am confused.
Yeah.
Let me be very honest.
Yeah.
So I did my bachelor's in electrical and electronics, but I loved a lot of analog electronics and circuit design subjects. So I ended up taking a few courses on analog electronics, electromagnetics and stuff in my first semester in my master's. But in my second semester, I was like, okay, and I took up a small data science subject in my first semester, and I really started liking it. So my second semester was more shifted towards machine learning.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, so and I did a course on engineering entrepreneurship in my
Yeah.
second semester,
Got
and
it.
because I was also working on a startup with my roommate uh, in UPenn in my first semester.
Got it.
So that was one thing. But all of a sudden, I got an internship at Tesla, which wanted me to work on core electrical subjects, and it was not even related to analog electronics or circuit design or even machine learning or data science.
Got
It
it.
was much more into power electronics, charging systems, testing. So, to be honest, now I'm again pretty confused on what I need to take up next semester.
Yeah. Yeah.
But one good thing is I have experience in each and every domain right now.
Got it.
It's just that at this age, probably at 22, I have experienced working on circuit design. I've experienced working with a startup. on how to build a startup, and also on something related to core electrical, and also on machine learning and data science. Now I have different domains to choose.
Got it.
So I think, probably that would be a best suggestion going ahead. Try every domain possible, and someday you will like something and go ahead with that.
Definitely. So
Yeah,
obviously, so as you're telling, just pursuing masters in colleges like UPenn, where it's also connected to Wharton, and you have a lot of courses that you can take from Wharton professors. So it's very interesting that you get an opportunity to diversify your whole portfolio to such an extent, and
correct.
surprisingly you get opportunities in every domain that you pursue, right? It's not like you don't get good opportunities in a domain that you pursue. That I
True.
also saw that you've been incubated for that startup that you worked for your with your friend, right? So a lot of opportunities.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's very interesting for me. So what would you like to tell about UPenn as a college itself, apart from the coursework? The crowd there and how it provides opportunities, the infrastructure, and what
Mhm.
is the general vibe in the college?
Okay. Let me rewind back a bit to
Okay.
what I started in 12th.
Okay. Sure.
Obviously, I think most of us would want to get into an IIT, or be all prepared for JEE Mains, JEE Advanced, and we know how the
Definitely.
peer group in an IIT or BITS, or probably even in your college, NITK is.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah. So I that peer group, although the peer group in RV was amazing, I really loved the peer group in RV, but the level of competition just increases a lot more when you get into UPenn.
Got it.
Firstly, the Indian peer group you find is much more competitive,
True.
and they are much more collaborative, which is very helpful for you because you end up learning a lot more.
Yeah.
And obviously, you have links to people from various other domains, right? Like all the people I worked on in RV were from electrical electronics, or probably maximum electronics and communication. That's all. Some in computer science here and there. But now when you come to UPenn, you have people working in what in business, some in computer science, some in a lot of different domains, product design and things like that. So you end up collaborating with a lot of these people. So you end up learning a lot more. So
Yeah.
the peer group is a big plus point at UPenn. That's one good thing. Also, one negative fact about all these doing masters,
Yeah.
basically, especially doing masters towards the East Coast. Let me be very honest about that.
Okay. Okay.
Is getting your first job. Getting your first job is quite tough,
Okay.
especially if you're in a core domain like whatever I am in, and you're
Yeah.
on the wrong side of the coast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So getting your first job is quite tough, but it's all about the experience, man. Uh, that you see good alumni coming out of these colleges, ranging from Elon Musk himself, who I'm
Yeah.
working under, which is good. Sundar Pichai.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, Sundar Pichai. All of them coming from these good colleges. It's worth it. It's worth it. At least you'll, in the long run, you'll have a big name going under it, and you'll
Definitely.
experience a
Yeah.
lot, a lot of things than people who do not experience this. Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
So it actually provides that environment where you can network with very important people, network with like-minded people. I think peer group, peer support is the concept that we are also trying to implement in college. You know,
Agreed.
capitalize on the whole networking system in college. So that's great.
Hmm.
Uh, Also, now, before you got into UPenn, obviously you had to prepare your GRE, right? And from what I know, you've been very diverse in terms of what all you've tried your hands on, right? Both of us were part of the band, and we
Yes.
so much of time for practice and all of that. And you were also part of the car building team in RV, right?
Hmm.
And obviously academics is a big part of life during that point. So did you
Hmm.
always know that this is what I would like to pursue, I would like to stick on this path, or how was
Hmm.
your process of figuring things out?
Oh, yeah. So, firstly, when I joined engineering, I did not know what electrical and electronics was. Okay, so I wanted to get into mechanical,
Okay.
and I think I missed RV mechanical by few ranks, but I got some other college and I did not go. And I was like, okay, I wanted to get into electronics and communication. Pretty confused.
Yeah.
First year, I wanted to branch change. I didn't get things like that. Second year, I applied for Indian Academy of Sciences Summer Research Fellowship Program, and I did my internship at IIT Bombay.
Oh,
And I
nice.
didn't know anything, and I did my internship on photovoltaics. So I thought, oh, renewable energy system is where I need to go ahead. And
Got
I
it.
see the renewable energy systems, even though it has a much, it has much scope outside India. I
Yeah,
didn't see much scope in India, to be honest.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah, so I was like, okay, this is not going to work. And I was working, and my friends were working for the electric car team. I should be very thankful to them. They took me into the team, telling like, yeah, we might need your skill sets for both managerial as well as technical
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
I didn't work much more on the technical part. I worked more on the managerial stuff there.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that played a crucial role in me thinking about, oh, okay, yeah, I can try this domain too. So I actually wasn't sure about anything, even though when I wrote my SOP was all related to me working on renewable energy systems, me working on nanoelectronics, because
Got
I
it.
had worked for a very small period of time in IIT Bombay on nanoelectronics,
Okay.
but now I'm doing something related to analog electronics, so it's not even related.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's good to be unsure. That's a very good doubt to have, to be honest. The placement I got from RV was also in data science.
Oh,
It was not also a core placement that I got,
yeah, yeah,
which means I was still unsure then.
yeah.
But I was sure of one thing probably by the end of third year, that yeah, I will go to masters right after my graduation, and placement is only going to be my backup,
Got it.
just in case I have few problems with respect to visa or financial problems or things like that,
Exactly.
or I don't get any admits or things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But yeah, I try to diversify myself as much as possible, because I mean, if you don't diversify at the age of, I mean, when you're doing engineering or masters,
Exactly.
when do you diversify?
Yeah,
Probably few years down the line, I will know my core stuff and I will go much more deeper into it.
yeah.
But now I just wanted to try every bit of it, so I just went ahead with it.
Definitely. Yeah. That's,
Yeah.
and one important thing that I want you to talk about is, apart from technical, I mean, I understand that every student is just in this whole dilemma of where do I orient myself in terms of technical subjects. But what do you think about extracurriculars? Because it's been such an important part in your college life and also in my college life, that we've always wanted to take out time. And I've seen so many people say, I just want to study 4 years, get a job, and then explore extracurriculars, right? So what is your suggestion on that? What is your take on that?
Matters a lot, man. Extracurricular matters a lot.
Yeah, and
11th and 12th, you will be like, I'll study for 2 years. Okay,
correct.
I will not do extracurriculars, get into IIT. Cool.
Yeah,
Get into some college.
yeah,
Next 4 years, get a job. You're wasting 6 years without extracurricular activities. Next, after job, you're like, okay, I need to get a promotion. And it keeps going ahead. And by the
exactly.
time you think, it will already be 30. So
Yeah,
don't neglect it. Extracurriculars are part of your life. It's a part of your routine. Don't you take bath? Don't you go eat food?
exactly.
So one good thing I have learned through this process is, oh yeah, studying at UPenn, yeah, it has created a lot of pressure, because you end up working for a lot many hours a day than
Exactly.
what you worked in RVC.
Okay, okay.
So it's much more. I'm
Yeah,
not complaining, but yeah, it's much more work.
yeah,
It's much more effort that you have to put in, because all that you learned for 4 years, you'll be learning it those in one semester probably.
got it. Yeah, yeah.
So you have to make time. If you cannot make time in engineering, you cannot make your time in masters or when you are doing your job.
Makes sense.
So your engineering is the best time to actually put in effort for an extracurricular. I remember we both having a lot of time jamming in our
Exactly.
music room back in RV, and I mean that's the most special moment of your life.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
put in a lot of efforts for extracurricular activities, learn a new skill probably. For me, tabla has been very important, very crucial in my life from the age of 8 till now. So even now, after I finish work at Tesla, probably I come back home at 9 p.m. I
Yeah,
make it a point to practice for 1 hour even after I cook my food, just so that I'm in touch with the instrument. It's just something special to you. And I
exactly.
feel like if I do not practice that day, the next day is going to be bad. So that's how your extracurricular
Yeah,
activities should be probably. I mean,
yeah,
it's not like I'm showing off, telling I'm doing it, but it's just
yeah,
become a part of my life.
exactly.
And I suggest probably everyone to do that. For me, it's tabla. For someone, it's for my roommate. It was football. Him watching
Correct.
football matches or playing. It's different for each person.
Everyone,
So
definitely. Yeah,
yeah,
so it's basically about creating new routines for yourself and making sure that it's just part of your daily life, right?
yeah. Make time, man. Make time for all these. If you don't make time for all these, then it's no use studying for 4 years. You'll only remember your 4 years of engineering just studying. Now I remember my amazing days in Alap room. I was going to a lot of fests from IIT
Yeah,
Kharagpur, IIT Hyderabad, Delhi, Gwalior,
yeah,
Chennai, Trichy, all those gigs. in
Exactly.
Bangalore. Yeah,
Exactly. Chennai.
interacting with seniors. Yeah, such amazing memories. Like I remember those 4 years of engineering with associated with those rather than me studying.
Exactly. Exactly. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense. All right. So, you know, just coming back to the technical aspect of things,
Mhm.
since after you knew that, I'm interested in these domains within electrical engineering, and these are
Mhm.
where I'll be looking forward to pursuing masters. How was your GRE preparation like, and what was the strategy that you used in terms of time frame of study and all of that?
Okay, I can go long about it, but yeah, let me keep it short
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
GRE prep.
Yeah.
I'll keep it in like few points. First point, I would suggest people to not take classes where you have to go and commute. Basically, don't take classes where you have to commute. It's a very painful process. It will
Mhm.
waste time there, and I haven't seen many people achieve success through that.
Got it.
Online classes seem good enough. I do not want to mention any companies or anything as such which have online classes. I mean, you can look into it; you will have a lot more.
Yeah.
So online classes were a good platform for me, and I did not spend much money at all. Probably, I think around I shared my online classes with my bandmate, another bandmate.
Got it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and both of us took online classes and wrote GRE. We shared it. So
Yeah.
reading with one more person would be helpful.
Definitely.
Firstly, one thing I can tell you, I can assure you, is math for most of us engineers. We are good at it. We just have
Yeah.
to make sure there are no silly mistakes in and around so that you get good enough marks.
Yeah.
And when it comes to verbal, uh, I mean, personally, I wasn't good at verbal. Let me
Yeah.
be honest, my English isn't great, so I had to prepare for that,
Yeah.
and that took some time. Uh, Spending in around 2 to 3 months,
Okay.
uh, putting in good enough effort for that would be
Yeah.
very helpful.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough that my internship somewhere in my third year when I was interning at GE got cancelled in between
Oh, okay.
for and I had like the last 20 days before my GRE it got cancelled. So
Oh,
those 20 days I put in as much efforts as someone would put in for 2 months.
yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought this is the best time and I gave my GRE then.
Got it.
And I had made up my mind like, okay, 2 times is the maximum time I'll give GRE. If first time I get a score about 320 plus, I do not go above at all. I don't
Got it.
care.
Yeah.
Because I knew I had a good enough resume, I had a good enough GPA. I was like, that would that would be sufficient. GRE is not
Yeah.
the score they would actually look into, to be very
Definitely.
honest.
Yeah.
It's just a meter so that you cross it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got about 320.
Got
So
it.
I was like, okay, cool. Let me go ahead with this. And I didn't give GRE another time.
Yeah.
Books, GRE books are quite important, especially the official ones.
Yeah.
And there are a few more books. Probably, I don't know if I can discuss about books here. Like,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, so Manhattan 5LB book was pretty good for my quant,
Okay.
especially to make sure I do not make any silly mistakes.
Yeah.
Uh, then learning words through the Magoosh app was the best thing.
Okay.
That's some of my seniors suggested, and I had so online course I was talking about. I took up Magoosh online course
Got it.
uh, with a 20% off through the book, and I
Yeah.
shared it with one of my friend. We had one common email ID, and we shared it,
Got it.
and both of us got decent enough GRE course. I think he got 324, I got 325.
Oh,
Yeah,
peace.
and make sure you don't write it on the same day because I have heard that there is some kind of relative grading and it might affect you. But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so that's one good strategy. But I mean, words are quite important. Make sure you get much more. People neglect quant, telling, "Oh, this is going to be shit easy," but no,
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, get full in quant.
Yeah. Put in that
That's the
effort.
best. Put
Yeah.
in that effort for quant.
Got it.
Make sure you don't have any silly mistakes. But yeah, verbal. I
Little bit
don't
of
know, man.
practice.
Verbal is a little bit of practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And to be honest, that verbal is actually helpful in the US when you are here
Oh, really?
because teachers, when they teach,
Yeah.
they sometimes use words which you would have studied in your GRE prep, and you're like, oh yeah, I read this.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
So it makes sense when they actually give that exam. So yeah.
All right. So that's some good suggestions for GRE prep.
Mhm.
So now that you're pursuing your masters and you have such a diverse portfolio in terms of your
Mhm.
courses that you've taken up and your present internship, what do you think for a graduate who's pursuing triple E in UPenn for masters? what does the future prospects look like?
Oh, in UPenn.
Yeah.
So if I have to, or do you want me to diversify it into colleges in the US for triple E? Because
No, just let's go with UPenn because I think you'll have a much better understanding, and then we'll talk about.
correct. So whatever I'm doing at Tesla is completely related to core electrical, and UPenn
Okay.
does not have any core electrical subjects. When I mean core
Oh,
electrical, I mean talking about electric cars, or I'm talking about power systems, power
yeah,
electronics.
yeah.
UPenn has zero courses on that.
Oh, okay,
And I
okay.
am doing an internship related to that, only
Yeah,
based solely on my resume from my bachelor's.
got it, got it. So that car
So
that
which
you are
means
involved with, car building.
exactly that was part of it, and also my IIT Bombay internship on renewable energy system. That's also part of core electrical,
Got
right?
it.
Yeah. So what usually, if you are doing in UPenn, UPenn has a very good robotics course.
Got it.
So if you are coming to UPenn, go ahead with robotics. For me, I hated robotics. I
Okay.
did not like anything related to control systems or robotics. So I
Yeah,
was 100% sure, even if I come to UPenn, I'm not going to do anything related to robotics.
makes sense. Yeah.
UPenn has a very good computer science course also, especially machine learning, computer vision, and stuff like that. I mean,
True.
yeah, robotics related computer vision.
Yeah.
So go ahead with that. Uh, core electrical courses are coming up well, especially core electronic courses. Oh,
Yeah.
one thing I would suggest if you are coming to UPenn, I don't know if I have to tell it on podcast. So yeah, so before I joined UPenn, I was following this professor on
Okay.
YouTube. I used to
Okay.
watch his lectures just because of the joy of it, and I
Oh.
loved his teaching.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I was 100% sure that I am going to take up his course when I come to UPenn.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, and it was on electromagnetics and optics.
Got it.
There
Got it.
are only 40 people in the class, and he was nominated for Nobel Prize, I presume. I do not know. And he's changed my life when it comes to learning about how to learn basically and how to lead a simple life, even though you know so much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
his professor Nadir Engata,
Okay.
you can
Okay.
check him out.
Definitely.
I mean, you can check him out. He has a Wikipedia page and a lot of publications, citations, and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. So if you're coming to UPenn, just sit in his class, whether you take up that course or not.
Yeah.
He's a very good prof. He'll let people allow sit in his class. There are people from arts background sitting in his class to
Yeah.
read a graduate level electromagnetics lesson.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are few things like these, small things like these that you have to do at UPenn,
Yeah.
which yeah, which you do not want to miss, especially professors like these. The classes you do not get these anywhere.
Yeah.
So choose your professors wisely when you're taking up classes. I mean, 10 years down the line, your first job would be the easiest one, it would be the toughest one to get.
True.
But
True.
10 years down the line, you will be looking at, oh, I take up courses just for my first job.
Yeah.
I mean, whether I get a job now or not, I don't care. But I would have really, those 6 months under Professor Nadir was one of the best time I had ever had.
Definitely. Definitely.
So that's one opportunity that UPenn provides that you need to take up, and Wharton courses. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. So, it's been such a great time talking to you. And
Yeah.
I just want to end with this question. So, if you had a chance to talk to your past self who is pursuing his BTech right now, what would
Mhm.
be the advice that you would give yourself?
Oh, advice that I would give myself.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think I should have gone for more fests. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have chilled a lot in my engineering. It's been
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Uh, Probably I should have been much more technical. I should have increased my technical expertise.
Got it.
Uh, uh, you tend to neglect it a bit. You become a bit more bookish
Yeah.
and try to uh, concentrate on like, oh, let me get this GPA because I'm aiming for universities. Let me get this GPA. That's it. But no,
Correct. Correct.
try to increase your technical expertise. When you're, for example, when I was working on the electric car, I could have probably worked a lot more on it and increased my technical expertise in that domain. It would have helped me a lot more in Tesla.
Yeah.
Not like it's not helping,
Correct.
but
Correct.
yeah, it would have helped me a lot more in Tesla and would have given me a lot of much more better opportunities.
Exactly.
And I feel I have diversified enough in my undergrad. I don't think I would look back and repent on it.
Yeah.
I've diversified
Definitely.
much more enough.
Definitely.
Oh, coding. Oh, I won't say I'm bad at coding. I'm good at coding. Okay,
Okay.
but I would have gone back and told myself, oh, let me actually focus much more on coding in my undergrad rather than spending much more time in my master's learning to code.
Got it.
Spend more time on coding. Coding is like ABCD right now for you if you're actually going to do anything in your life ahead. Coding is very important.
Yeah.
So whether
So
you are a computer science student or electrical student or a mechanical student, you should have basics of coding
yeah.
since it's going to take you forward in a long, long, long way.
So when you talk about coding, are you referring to the data science coursework that you took up, or are you referring to even the triple E courses that you've taken up?
So coding, data science, see, data science coding, you can learn it on your own going
Okay.
forward.
Yeah.
But when I talk about coding, I'm talking about core coding, at least know basics of Python or C++ or C,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
know one language properly enough so that you do not face difficulties when you're taking up a new course. For example, when I took up data science, I had to start coding from scratch.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was very painful. I had to start from, oh, what is for loop? I had forgotten what for loop was, what while loop was. It was that bad.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't do that. But
Got
yeah,
it.
I learned it through the process. It was just the hard way around.
Yeah. 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 Definitely.
It
Yeah.
becomes much more simpler if you actually practice coding in your undergrad
Yeah.
and then you go ahead even for a job or even for masters,
Yeah.
things get simpler. Even for Tesla, I have to code.
Got it.
Even though I'm doing my core subjects, I have to code.
Code makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a part and parcel of every company right now. It's a part and parcel of every course you're going to take up right now.
True. True.
Yeah.
All right then. So it's been so great to talk to you. I'm definitely sure that people who will be listening to this podcast will be so inspired to join UPenn, especially for the triple E grads in campus, who are interested
Thanks,
in
man.
core field, and they look at you, they look at Tesla, they look at opportunities that these universities provide. Thank you so much for being on this podcast. Wish you all the success in life, and we'll get you back for one more podcast very soon and talk more about entrepreneurship and how you're developing your product and all of that.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, man. Thanks. It was great talking to you. Nice catching up with you after a long time. And
Yeah.
kudos to your team. You guys
Yeah.
are doing an amazing job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking forward to more podcasts from different people.
Yeah. Definitely.
I would
Definitely.
love to listen to it and hope everyone gets inspired. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then.
Man.
Bye, bro.
Sure.
Yeah.
Bye. See ya.